Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, welcome to Be My Guest. Today we have back our resident whodunit. Glenn Ickler is back with us with another book featuring Mitch and Al. You see all of his characters. Welcome back, my friend.
No, thank you for having me. It's
You're
always
welcome. We wouldn't think of not having you.
Yeah.
We have known each other. You were on our show. When we started in 2012, we were temporarily at the police station or the fire station.
That's right.
You came back then.
Yeah.
I think you have been on, maybe not the COVID year, but that's been every year since then.
Yeah, I think
he's always strong.
I've only missed 1 year, though, I think. It's always been fun.
Oh, gosh, yeah. He has a book coming out like every year. This latest one, okay, this is one of my two very favorites. Murder on the River of Gold, Cruising Toward Calamity. And Glenn just went on a cruise. And where did you go? Did you go to Portugal?
Yes, this is the itinerary in this book is exactly the itinerary of the cruise I was on.
But minus the murder.
This is...
That's the one.
We docked just almost directly under that bridge that's in that picture on the cover.
But you thank God you didn't have the murder thing where you had to be detained.
Yeah.
How many days were you on that thing?
7.
Oh.
7 days and 7
He and I
nights.
were just talking. I said, for me to go on a cruise or get on a plane, it'd be like I feel like a trapped animal. I just can't deal with it. So now this, I don't know where to begin. This is it's based on the Felicity Amour cruise line about Mitch and Al, his usual people. Now Mitch and Al, explain again to people who they are.
Well, Mitch and Al, I worked in newspapers all my life,
Yeah.
so Mitch and Al are a newspaper. Mitch is a reporter, Al is a photographer, and they've been working together at the paper in St. Paul, Minnesota, where I'm from originally.
Yeah, and Mitch, I think he reminds me of you.
What's that?
He reminds me of you, Mitch, the journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear your voice, I see your face, and everything that Mitch does in this thing.
Oh, poor Mitch.
No, I love it. Now, this goes to Portugal, and it's based, like I just said, on Glenn's trip in the cruise, of course, minus. He always has a great message for me. To Jan, bon voyage. Hope you don't get seasick. Nice guy. This was on Christmas Day you wrote this. 12/25. Now, I have earmarked. A lot of you out there remember Glenn, and he's been with us a long time, but those of you don't. Praise for Mitch and Al's series. Clearly, Glenn Ickler has the chops to write a fine mystery, but what makes him a special writer is how his characters are extraordinarily human, you got that right, and consistently funny. His dialogue has great rhythm, and the banter of the ensemble of characters rings true. From the newsroom to the police stations to the social constructs. That's one of the reviews. Here's Kirkus. This engaging mystery should please fans of the series and pick up some new ones. At Online Book Club, Ickler demonstrates that he can create a dramatic scene and then add humor, and is that the truth? So, Mitch and Al, who is it? Okay, it's Mitch's mother who wins a free cruise.
That's right.
Tell us basically the story.
Yeah, his widowed mother wins a free cruise for 2. So he's the 2, and of course he wouldn't go without his wife. And Al and Al's wife Carol, being their best friends, they decide to put out the bucks and come along. And they bring the cat along as a care thing for the mother.
Sherlock Holmes the cat.
Usually they leave the cat with their next door neighbor, but their next door neighbor has gone off on a vacation of her own, so they have to bring the cat with them.
Sherlock Holmes, what a great name for a cat.
Yes.
Yeah. So she brings this comfort cat.
Yeah,
and
comfort
this is a
cat.
particular cruise that allows animals, and boy, in the story, there are animals.
Yeah, there are other animals
really
on
are.
board.
And then they have you get assigned a cabin, which isn't too bad from what I hear.
Yeah.
Is it pretty cramped?
Huh? A cabin there, it's 10 by 16.
Oh, sounds like a jail cell. I don't think Take it.
It's about the size of your shower.
Oh, my. So they go, they have no idea what's coming down the pike on this doggone cruise ship. They get on expecting a wonderful time. But tell us, they get off a couple times for tours, right?
Yeah, they do get a couple of tours before things start falling apart.
Now, things start falling apart.
They're in the book, their guides on the tours tell a couple of little stories, and these are actually stories that were told by guides on my trip.
Okay, your grandma, do you really have a grandma goodie?
I had a maple sugar grandma. She always had maple sugar candies.
All right, now, one of the big characters in this is Lady T. And she's a celebrity in Portugal. Comes out, always out on the cruise, beautifully dressed, the whole 9 yards. And she's got a little dog.
Yeah.
And so Sherlock Holmes, Mitch's mother's cat, always looks at that dog like, don't you dare come near me. But Lady T is a member of, which Mitch finds out later, the Turtle Club. Now, our guest is also a member of explain what the Turtle Club is.
The Turtle Club is a thing, I got into it through a square dancing club. I think it was originally started somewhere in the Air Force during World War II. But there are a series of 4 riddles that you must solve in order to become a turtle. And there are 2 answers to these riddles, and the first one you think of might not be the one that you would say to your 9-year-old granddaughter. The admonition when they ask the riddle is think clean, and the clean answer is the correct answer. And once you become a turtle, then you must use the password when someone asks you if you are a turtle, and it's assumed that all turtles own a jackass. So the password, if you're asked if you're a turtle, is, you bet your sweet ass I am.
Well, you should see Glenn Ickler's condo. I went and visited him there. I let him borrow a book of mine. And, I'm beginning to catch on as I walk around. There's an awful lot of turtles here. And then he was beginning to think, you got it? We collect them. And then he explained to me about being in a turtle club. Is there any particular, if somebody wanted to join the Turtles, like myself, about joining, or you have to be a particular age?
No, you could join if you could solve the riddles.
I could solve the riddles. I don't know about that. I could cheat.
I'm sure you can think clean, Jan.
Maybe so. Okay, your mom. Okay, Mom. Your Mitch's mom. Ufta. What the heck does that mean? Is that German?
It's Norwegian, Scandinavian. And it's like aloha. It means all kinds of things. It can be happy, it can be surprised, it can be angry, it can be confused. Well, it's a very useful word.
She was worried now we're going to talk about when all hell broke loose on this ship with the murder. Mom's mother, Mitch's grandmother, Grandma Goody, was being cared for by somebody back home. And the mother was worried once you guys all got stalled on the ship because of a murder, they wouldn't let these guys get off. And now, what's going to happen to Grandma Goody? Go on, go tell us what happened.
Well,
about this murder.
On the ship? Okay. Well, first of all, there was a woman who came aboard wearing a giant emerald.
Yes.
And Lady T had a giant diamond. Yeah. And after about the second day, the emerald was... The woman owning the emerald raced in and said, the emerald was stolen. Yeah. And her husband immediately blames Lady T. Yeah. And, of course, Lady T is very upset about that. Oh, yeah. And as things go along, and Mitch and Elle try to figure out, who is this guy? Yeah. There's a jeweler on board also, And he has dinner with Lady T one night, and the next morning he turns up dead of arsenic poisoning.
Yeah, and Mitch and Al walk into the room because the housekeeper runs out screaming.
Yeah.
And they're like, they go in, they look like, oh, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like poisoning.
So the whole cruise comes to a halt while the murder is investigated.
Everybody's going to be looked into, including the staff.
Yes. Yeah, the inspector is going to interview every passenger and every member of the crew before he will let that ship out of the city of Portal.
And no more tours. You cannot leave that ship.
That's right. You can't...
It's pretty bad. So they tried, the ship staff tries to make you feel a little bit happier, a more relaxed. Plus, they bring out the booze a lot.
Yeah, they bring in a lot of They bring in a lot of extra wine and a few extra happy hours there.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed it. They finally get the ship's captain out there to try to ease things and explain things. I don't think it would ease a doggone thing. People are mad. They want to go home. Flights had to be, once you get your cruise ends, right? I don't know about this. You do. You get off the boat.
Yeah.
And does a limousine take you to the airport?
It was a minibus, actually.
Okay, a minibus. So you go there.
Yeah.
So you are scheduled. In the book, he's supposed to say Glenn. In the book, they were scheduled to leave. What day were they scheduled to leave? Well, the day they were scheduled to leave, obviously that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
And they missed their flight home.
Yeah. And
how many days in all were they all kept on that boat?
oh gosh, they were stuck there for about 3 days.
That's 3 days.
Because they had to interview 82 passengers and a crew of 18.
It turns out there was a fake emerald and a real emerald.
That's right.
Now, I'm not going to tell the ending, but after the show I'm going to ask Glenn what he thinks. But being two of them, I'm thinking, which one, what happened, with each one or whatever. But I'll leave that up to you to think about. We talked with Glenn Ickler, of course. Murder on the River of Gold, Cruising Toward Calamity. Glenn, how can they get your book?
They can go on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I have a whole page there. All my books are there. They can go on my website, which is glenickler.net, and I will send them a signed copy.
glenickler.net.
Yeah.
But your email is glenickler, glenwriter at gmail, at verizon.net.
The website.
The website, yeah.
Yeah, the website is glenickler.net.
Now, where are you appearing? Where are you coming up next? Are you going to be anywhere soon?
Am I cruising again soon?
Are you going to be, Are you going to be...
yes, on the 1st of June, I'm going on a cruise with my experience partner who actually put the idea of this cruise...
What's her name again?
Into my head. Her name is Gigi.
Gigi. Shout out to Gigi. Good work helping Glenn. Although he's pretty cool. I don't know how much help he needs.
She has a wonderfully evil criminal mind. I can't imagine what actually being on this cruise she's gonna come up with after that. So
that's a good mix, you two, because you're the writer, and she comes up with.
You're going to be interviewing her sometime because she's got some books in mind that when she retires from her day job, she's going to start writing. So
what's her venue?
What's that?
What's her venue of books?
It'll be mysteries.
What's her day job?
She is involved in. She's not a pharmacist, but she works with pharmacy patients,
right.
People, and make sure that they're taking their drugs, that they're getting them on time.
Right. How did you meet? The Turtle Club?
She actually works from home. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Was it the Turtle Club for square dancing? How did you two meet? Square dancing?
We met square dancing, yes. She came 2 years ago, she came to class without a partner. And we danced. We just kind of...
You clicked.
We bonded.
I think that's awesome. What a wonderful bonding, because again, Glenn is a fantastic writer, and she can come up with some pretty good ideas, and he'll just run with it.
Oh, yeah.
He'll just run with it. Now, okay, Cruising Toward Calamity. The thing that got me is when Mitch almost went over the edge. The bad guy, almost killed him.
That's
Almost
right.
sent him over the edge of the cruise.
Yeah.
The guy... I just got through reading another thing about a girl who I think was dumped over the side. It was a mystery that... Ware is the last name. W-A-R-E. She writes a lot of...
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've read her some of her books.
Really. It upset me terribly because this girl was on the cruise was put in this like box-like room for days.
Yeah.
Oh, being punished and hardly eating. No, this is nothing like that. This is, you've had, people who don't know Glenn, okay, he's had a long career in newspapers and journalism. Tell us a little bit about your background.
My background, when I graduated from college, I went to the top of the draft list. So I joined the Navy just so I didn't have to be in the Army.
You want to go to the Army?
Yeah, and then the Navy offered a 16-week course where I could be a commissioned officer, fly in airplanes, and do all sorts of fun things.
You liked it.
And then...
You liked it?
Yeah, I did. Most of the time, yes. I logged 2,054 hours in the air over the Pacific Ocean, but some of it was pretty boring. But
no wonder you'll get in an airplane. We just talked about that awful thing that Alaska. Well, we have a friend. Hi out to Glenn. Shout out to Glenn. But our friend of ours just went to Alaska on one of those planes that just lost its door. There's no bolts, and he was a lucky guy. He was not on that particular plane, and luckily no one was sitting there.
Yeah.
What's the odds? You would have gone right out the window with it.
Yeah.
I hope they do a real good job with that one. So now, you went to college. Where did you go to school?
I went to school at Hamlin University, which is a small private college in St. Paul. And my first newspaper job was in a little town called Winona, which is a town of 25,000 in southeastern Minnesota. From there I went to the St. Paul Dispatch and Pioneer Press, which is a much 500,000 circulation paper. And I was started as a reporter and did a number of other things and wound up as an assistant editor on the editorial page.
Was the guy in these stories, O'Rourke, the boss of Mitch and Al, right?
Right.
Is he based on who you had as one of your bosses?
What was that?
Is he based? O'Rourke.
Yes, he is.
He is. I thought so.
Funny thing, I was at a signing back in St. Paul, and his son came up to me and said, "I hear you've got my father in your books."
Yeah. And what did he say? Was he mad or happy?
Oh, no, he was quite pleased with it.
What about the father? Was he happy about it?
I don't know.
Pretty good thing to find out. So after that, you came east.
I'm pretty sure, I think his father may have already died by then. His father was a World War II veteran. He was in the Battle of the Bulge.
We still have many of our World War II vets alive, our Vietnam vets, and the ones that come after that. People are living long. If you look at the obits, not 90s, hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Well, yeah, because...
May we all. I have a friend who said, I don't want to get past 70s. I'm like, you got to be kidding. Really? Why?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got a straight answer. But to me, I can't figure that out. But, okay, so what you did is after you worked there, when did you come east?
I came to Massachusetts to be the editorial page editor of the Middlesex News in Framingham,
right,
which was a booming paper at that time. Of course, the internet has killed all the small daily papers are taking an awful beating.
I know it.
Losing all their advertising.
Is that the one that you had?
It's called Metro West Daily News now. Yeah.
And you had one, I love your art, I'm sure I wrote you. He always had, was it Grandma Goody and Grandpa somebody or other? The people in it was always about their opinions on things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was down to earth, realistic and funny. And then they just let you go. I mean, they just...
Yeah, when USA Today bought it, they did away with a lot of the staff.
They're not into lighthearted things.
No, they definitely are not.
Same with iHeartRadio. Sorry, iHeart. I'm really onto that bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
It's sort of a very slanted, and if it slants anymore, it's going to fall on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. I like talk radio shows that are down the middle. Down the middle. Let's hear what's going on and form our own opinions. I don't want somebody who's just blustering a bunch of nonsense. I want to hear the real you, and let's talk about it. Yeah, things have definitely changed. Let's hope they go back to some normalcy sometime. I miss things like Jerry Williams. Remember Jerry? Jerry Williams and all the talk shows. Gene Burns. Dad used to listen to all those. They were right down the line.
Yeah.
They could be funny too. They could find the humor in things, which was to me a blessing. And that's just what Glenn Ickler does. And he will definitely find the humor in this. Now, I wasn't sure at the end of this Murder on the River of Gold, based on the true story of Glenn's trip to Portugal on a cruise. I was not sure even till the end. Of course, he always keeps me hanging. Who the heck was the murderer? I wasn't positive. Did you know ahead of time, or did it just sort of like come along?
Yeah, I had that much figured out ahead of time.
You knew. Did your friend?
The very ending, I'm not going to say what it was, but the very last ending came out of the blue. That was something I changed right at the end.
Yeah, well, I believe that they want to leave it up in the air, which drives me nuts. Aaron, I want to know. But you had all kinds. He had Inspector Govia, who really went after Mitch. Not as much Al. Al's the photographer. Mitch is the journalist.
Yeah, the journalist.
But see, he's got a lot of. He chops, as they call Glenn. He'll go knock on the door on the cruise, and he'll try to get in and talk to somebody. Lady T was not the most friendly person in the beginning.
No,
and he was very... and she had an assistant who was...
Really? Gigettas, really.
She was like the bulldog protecting, The foods, you know what, get off, the food sounded pretty good. Was it pretty good on the cruise? The food is good.
Yeah, food is wonderful.
It is. And they have a medical doctor there, I would hope.
Yeah.
That's good. They got that. And then they have a dining room, the lounge, and then you can go up on a sun deck.
Yeah, there's a sun deck with a swimming pool.
Did you go in the pool?
I did not.
No? Is it a heated pool? Is it heated? That's the best kind of pool.
Well, it was summertime. It didn't have to be heated. I mean, it was 80 degrees out on that cruise.
What was your favorite place on the cruise?
The favorite place?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was probably the city of Porto, which is where it ends up.
Porto.
Yeah.
And you got to, how long are these, how do people, do people hold up okay, all these walking tours?
Yeah, they have guides. The guides take you on a walking tour.
Slowly, I hope.
And then they'll take you for half a day on the walking tour, and then you're free to do your own thing.
Can you shop and have a blast?
Oh yeah, you shop and
get coffee.
If you want, if you want an ice cream cone or something.
Do they have thrift shops there in Portugal?
Do they have what?
Thrift shops in Portugal.
Thrift shops?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see any.
I'm like, well, I don't know. Are the prices too very, very high? For your lady friend, she would know if the prices of clothes were high.
I saw Stephen King books in Portuguese.
Is the clothing high price? That's what your friend would know. Your lady friend would know. Clothing. Is that high priced in Portugal?
I have no idea what the clothing prices are.
She's a girl. She'd know what
I don't shop for clothes.
Did you bring home some tchotchkes? Things to keep for memory?
Yeah, mostly edibles.
Okay, so they're gone. Okay, so you're the edibles.
Yeah.
So you finally got on your plane, and they finally get on their plane, and they get home. Do you think O'Rourke, the head guy, was pleased with their reporting? Because Mitch was dedicated. He'd get in his room, and he'd get down, he'd get as much as he could. I think he has a little fear of O'Rourke, that he's going to get maybe laid off if it's not good. Yeah, do journalists have that fear?
Well, you want to please your boss, of course.
Yeah, but it was tough for him because things were moving slowly. That's what drove me cuckoo. When are you going to get through with this? How many planes were missed? I mean, how many trips? One or two? When they were, remember when they were scheduled to leave?
Yeah, I think it was finally the third time they finally got off the ship.
I want to go home. I was like, get me off of this. And then they made it so you could not get off of it. Remember up on that deck?
That's
the
right.
deck I think that Mitch almost got thrown off of. He was hurt bad. He had a concussion. This is quite a story. I mean, Mitch's stories they're easy to read. There isn't the complication of complicated. What I mean, there are characters definitely, but you got the main two who are the stable characters here, photographer and the journalist. Okay, they're always getting into something. They have to get on this cruise, and boy, they got into something. And this time, Mitch's mom is on board with her comfort kitty cat, Sherlock Holmes. And Big Lady T, who's, she's a kind of celebrity, she's on the tour with her dog. And the cat and the dog, not so much. So, I mean, it's funny. It is fun. Not death where the guy gets murdered, but Glenn uses his sense of humor to go into it. And you don't lose track of the characters, because one thing I like, Glenn, that you do, one of the many things, is you repeat who they are. At first I thought, why is he doing this? I know who it is. But I thought, perfect, because a lot of people might forget.
Yeah.
So I'm like, excellent, excellent. You guys have got to read it. Murder on the River Gold, based on the true adventure, a crew, not the murder part, but the cruise that Glenn and his friend took to Portugal. And it sounds like a blast. It's not the kind of water like to go to Martha's Vineyard, is it? I get sick on that one.
It's perfectly. It's a river.
Okay, so you weren't like, ooh.
The biggest wave is that high.
Okay, all right, because I was practically hanging over the deck going to Martha's Vineyard. I don't do well on, So, pick it up. Glenn, again, how can they get your book? How can they get your book again?
They can get it on my website, which is glenickler.net, and they can get it on Amazon by going to looking up Glenn Ickler, or looking up Murder on the River Gold.
And you've got something coming up in June?
And we're going on the Danube in June. So
bring your books. That would intrigue everybody on it. Bring the books for this.
Yeah, I'm going to take some.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Are you going to be in fall? Do you think you're going to be at the park over in Hopedale? At the big.
Yes.
You will. Let's hope it doesn't rain again. That's not good.
Got rain out last year, but
you got a new book coming? I should know. You do, I bet. He's going. Do you have a new book?
Do I have a new book? I'm working on a new book also.
When do you think it'll be done? Fall?
Which the idea for came from the same person who gave me the idea for this one. So.
Oh, she sounds fantastic.
Oh, she's a lot of help.
So do you think that it'll be out in fall, maybe? Fall or Christmas? Or what do you think?
What do I think? What?
When do you think it'll be out? Fall? Christmas?
Before Christmas, yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
I've got friends who buy extra copies to use as Christmas gifts, so I've got to get it out for Christmas.
Definitely. Okay, so he's got one out in the Glen Ickler. Go over to the Upton Library, to the local authors dedicated section. He's going to go over, he's going to leave a copy. Dig in, because
yes.
This one is so cool. It had me up at night, 1, 2 in the morning. It took forever for me to do it because I would keep going back, like, yeah, that's what happened there. So, thank you, Glenn, and we'll get him back on for the next one, of course.
Of course.
Thank you.
Oh,
and we'll be
thank you.
Be my guest. Thank you.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.